Comrade Chairman, Comrade Member of Parliament in waiting, Comrade Steve McGregor, Comrade Mayor, Comrade Chairman of Region 3, Comrade Warriors and Comrade Foot Soldiers of the People's National Party. The word is love. Comrades, today was a wonderful day in central Kingston. I traveled in the motorcade and I went around all through Alman Town, go round into Franklin Town, and come round into Ray Town, and PNP River came down bank to bank, comrades. And we're sending a warning. And we're sending a signal to the labor rights in the constituency. We're sending a warning to them that Central Kingston a PNP country, and we are going to take back with territory. We're going to take back Ray Town, and we're going to take back Alman Town, and we're going to make Steve McGregor the next member of Parliament for Central Kingston. You know, comrades, I am very happy to be here to participate in the launch of the campaign for Steve McGregor. And in doing so, I have to tell you, comrades, that I am very, very happy as to what and how the PNP is looking across the country nationally. And from Westmoreland to St. Thomas, from St. Mary in the north to Clarendon in the south, the people are saying it is time for the honest government to pack their bags and go. And I hear this government, everything, I hear them say that the history has been performed in this, and history has been performed in that. And one of the things, Comrade Garden, that they have failed to tell the country is that this government is the most corrupt government in the history of Jamaica, comrades. Because it is the first time in the history of Jamaica that we have a prime minister whose statutory declarations for 4 years in a row cannot be certified. As Comrade Damian Crawford would say, what can go so? And in any self-respecting democracy, having a prime minister like that, whose statutory declaration cannot be certified, his name could not appear on any ballot box in any self-respecting democracy. And the time come for us to say to the Prime Minister, you need to call the election so that the people of Jamaica can decide their future and decide their destiny once and for all.
Now look, me say some entertainer join with us to make some money. We make some money. We make some money. So entertainer only join with us to make.
And comrades, understand this. Because in 2020, in the midst of COVID, the Prime Minister called an election 1 year before it was constitutionally due. And now we are 4 months away from the time when it is constitutionally due. And him can't call it. Him can't call it. So what is happening? We're saying to the Prime Minister, Prime Minister, do. Call it no man. Call it no man. And comrades, I want you to know that when the Prime Minister called the election, the People's National Party, when we win the election, we are ready to govern from day one. Because our leader, Mark Jefferson Golding, in 2020, gave me an assignment as the spokesperson for housing and sustainable living. And the comrade leader said to me that your task and your mission is to make sure that you bring about affordable housing to the people of Jamaica. And we put together a team to work with me to craft some programs and policies that will lead to the building of affordable houses for the people of Jamaica. And when in the 2025 budget, you would have heard our leader come to the table and put forward some transformational housing policy that will lead to affordable housing in Jamaica. And in that, the comrade leader tell you that we are going to stop the annual extraction of $11.4 billion from the NHT to fund the budget. And we're going to make that money stay in NHT so that we can build more houses for the people of Jamaica. And the comrade leader have said to you that we are going to make sure that out of that $11.4 billion, we're going to set up a $1 billion fund for each year so that young people can get $500,000 grant so that they can pay down on the deposit for their houses. And we're going to make sure that in the 50,000 houses that we are going to be building for low-income earners across this country, young people can own them own a key and own them own a house.
Let the trumpets play. Let the trumpets play. Jamaican people want better.
And comrades, the comrade leader has also signaled to the country that we're gonna be building 50,000 low-income houses. But there is going to be something significantly new and different about what we are going to do. Because in building those 50,000 houses, we are not going to make the purchasers of those houses pay for the land portion of the housing cost. So what that means is that between 2.5 and 3 million in the building to sell on the market to low-income earners in Jamaica. And we have also said to the people of Jamaica that we are going to make sure that the taxi drivers, barbers, the hairdressers, the housewives, who they don't get a monthly pay slip, but these are people who are earning an income and they want to own a house in Jamaica, but they can't do so because they don't have a monthly pay slip. So what we say we're going to do is to introduce the rent to buy, where you rent the houses, and after a 6 to 8 month period, we see how you pay the rent. We say, all right, we're going to convert that rent into mortgage because the PNP say that it is better to pay mortgage than rent. And when you pay your mortgage, you own your own key. When you pay rent, you're borrowing somebody's key, comrades. And we have signaled as well that we are going to be the program for the orderly renewal and transformation of infrastructure in all areas, the Porsche program. And that program, we're gonna be tearing down zinc fences. We're gonna be improving sidewalks so that senior citizens and persons with disabilities can walk freely across the country. And so I am here to tell you tonight, your candidate and member of parliament to be Steve McGregor said to me, Comrade Floyd, I hear that you behind the housing plan and the leader has made these grand announcements. You can't exclude Central Kingston because Central Kingston was one of the 9 constituencies who stood faithfully for the People's National Party.
People's National Party was said that. Porsche Simsimilla was said that. Philip Palwell was said that. People's National Party say, hey yo! Make a good look. Philip Palwell name there not the good book. Vote for the big.
Comrades, I am aware of the challenges in housing in your constituency because one time them did want to move out the people of Almantown from out of them houses out here. We now go in for that. And we're gonna make sure that we roll out the Porsche program in Almantown. And we're going to roll it out in Raytown, and we're going to tear down zinc fences. We're going to build sidewalks and improve the housing stock in these 2 major divisions in the city of Kingston so that our people can live in style and dignity. And so I say to you, comrades, make sure that on election day, you vote and put your X right beside the head and put your vote for Steve McGregor as the next member of parliament for Central Kingston. God bless you, comrade. One love, one heart. God bless you.
Comrade Chairman Ribba, Comrade Leader, Comrade Steve McGregor. We're here because we believe in Steve. Other distinguished comrades on the platform, comrades, workers, and warriors of Central Kingston, good evening. Comrades, you know, when I walk with my Integrity Commission report, you know what I'm going to deal with tonight? I'm going to deal with corruption. Floyd said the Senate is hereby called to order. But I don't have the absolute privilege of in the Senate. So since we know we have a lawsuit government that tries to muzzle everyone with lawsuits, but them know, said this man, no afraid of no man, no girl, no way. But I write out my remarks tonight to be sure. But comrades, this JLP administration is all about raping and looting the taxpayers of this country. And they cover it up with misinformation, propaganda, and lies. And I tell you something, comrades, and I want you to listen to this carefully because I want to hear you saying it back to me. Shame trees don't grow at Belmont Road. Shame trees don't grow at Belmont Road. Comrades, Andrew Holness can't hold anyone accountable because his own hanky-panky has been exposed by the Integrity Commission of Jamaica. His financial declarations for 2021, 2022, 2023 remain uncertified, casting a dark cloud over his leadership. The Integrity Commission's investigative report of August 2024 in respect of concerns that he owns assets disproportionate to his lawful earnings. That report unearthed some damning revelations. One, millions in raw cash from unknown depositors were lodged to the Prime Minister's personal account. Now I can tell you as a banker that any first-year bank employee, commercial bank employee, trained and sensitized in anti-money laundering should flag these transactions as suspicious transactions. Second, the 28 bank accounts between his personal and associated companies saw almost $500 million, $470 million in thousands of transactions passing through those accounts over a few years. That is at a time when his official income was $10 or so million a year. But 470 million passed through those accounts in thousands of transactions. Then we also heard about this Positive Jamaica Foundation that was soliciting funds for charitable purposes like COVID relief. But then we later learned that he used the money collected from Positive Jamaica Foundation to purchase a bond for his own benefit. And when the Integrity Commission exposed it, first he said it was an error. And then later, that is actually not a charity, it's just a regular company. Comrades, shame trees don't grow at Belmont Road. The Integrity Commission referred Holness's questionable financial dealings to the Financial Investigation Division, the FID. That is the entity that investigates financial crimes such as money laundering. I want you to pay attention to me tonight, you know. So what has happened since the Integrity Commission referred Andrew Holness to the Financial Investigation Division? Well, first, I shared with you when I came to the Allman Town Conference because we had to get it out of a US report. There was nothing about it in Jamaica. That the Financial Investigation Division was being starved of human and financial resources. They had one third of the establishment of staff that they should have. Now, any entity which has only one where they should have three cannot function properly. What happened next? We hear Honis filed a lawsuit against the Integrity Commission, attempting to tie them up hand and foot so that these investigations couldn't proceed. And he even sought a declaration to declare the defense of illicit enrichment, offense of illicit enrichment as unconstitutional. Now that is the offense that he is being investigated for. So he goes to the court to try and declare it unconstitutional. But comrades, if that wasn't bad and bad enough, just this afternoon, we learned that Dennis Strong, an apologist for the Jamaica Labour Party and Andrew Honis, that he has now been appointed the Chief Technical Director in charge at the Financial Investigation Division. What can go so?
Yes, comrades! Youth and youth! Undecided voters! PNP coming again!
This man, who is now in charge of the entity that is supposed to be investigating Andrew Honis, is a man who has publicly attacked the Integrity Commission report and publicly disagreed with its findings and publicly said that Andrew Honis has done nothing wrong. So why would a man that has already declared his bias in the public be appointed as the same agency, to head the same agency that is to do the investigation? His public comments demonstrate his clear bias. Andrew Honis' appointment of a man who has a conflict of interest and demonstrated public bias is a corrupt decision. And we all have to draw the conclusion that there is no intention to do any serious investigation at the FID. Comrade, shame trees don't grow at Belmont Road. Shame trees don't grow at Belmont Road. But let me turn to something closer to home. I want to address what is being called the $31 million drill scandal. Once again, we find this lawsuit government and its cronies attempting to gag any inquiry into potential corruption or prevent exposure of corruption. There is a company called Medical Technologies that supplies hundreds of millions in medical equipment to the Ministry of Health. The majority owner of the shares is listed as Donovan Williams. And if you have any doubt, it is the same Donovan Williams who is the outgoing member of Parliament for this constituency of Central Kingston. When Dr. Dawes started investigating this transaction, because persons from within the Ministry of Health who are afraid of victimization but couldn't take the thief in no more, contact him and say, this transaction smell fishy. Involving the supply of a drill that both Dawes and many other medical professionals suspected was overpriced. So Dr. Dawes went to the company's office of Jamaica, and their records showed that Donovan Williams was the majority owner. The company's office of Jamaica. This was not just plucked out of thin air. This was not speculation. Comrade Dawes did the responsible thing. He went to the company's office of Jamaica and he found that the majority shareholder was Donovan Williams, outgoing member of parliament for Central Kingston. When he announced that, Williams started howl and protest that he is not really the owner, but holding the shares in trust for a still undisclosed owner, person A. Now, just stop and understand this. Here is a company selling hundreds of millions of dollars of medical equipment. Equipment that if it is flawed, can lead to death of Jamaicans. Equipment that if it is overpriced, will mean that Jamaicans will die because less resources will be available for healthcare in Jamaica. And yet, this government supposedly does not know who the owner of medical technology is. A could stand for anything. I'm not going to say it stand for Andrew. No, I don't want you to get me in any trouble. But A could stand for a money launderer. A could stand for a terrorist. A could stand for a criminal kingpin. Or it could stand for somebody with a clear conflict of interest in the Ministry of Health or within the health system. So, comrades, it don't end there. It don't end there. Comrades, I want you to listen to me. Beg you cool down the argument in the front. This is very important. And remember, we're talking here tonight not just to Central Kingston. We're talking to the entire Jamaica. So I want you to listen closely. So this Donovan Williams has come out and declared that he is not the ultimate beneficial owner of this company, but he is just a trustee hiding the identity of the real owner. So let me just take you back, Comrade Floyd. I believe you and I were both in the Senate when we were debating the 2023 bill to amend the Companies Act. And in that debate, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith warned Parliament, and I quote, "Failure to act risks FATF blacklisting." FATF stands for Financial Action Task Force. This is an international agency that if they graylist or worse, blacklist Jamaica, pure problems for our financial system, pure problems for our economy. She said failure to act risks FATF blacklisting, which would cripple Jamaica's economy, jeopardizing businesses, government operations, and everyday citizens by branding us as a high-risk jurisdiction. End quote. So what we now find Donovan Williams confessing is that Meditech a company linked to this sitting Jamaica Labour Party MP is openly violating this law. Medtech's breaches would include failure to disclose beneficial owners, those holding 25% plus of the shares. Ignoring the 14-day statutory deadline to update corporate records, and submitting incomplete, delayed disclosures to authorities. Despite these violations, Donovan Williams remains listed as the major shareholder, dismissively claiming to act as a trustee, a role that does not exempt compliance. Comrades, shame trees don't grow at Belmont Road. Comrades, this thieving, bare-faced and dry-eye government will steal fertilizer from small farmers. It will thief Nutribun from school picnic. And it will even steal from sick children at Bustamante Hospital. Shame trees don't grow at Belmont Road. But pensioners bloom at Old Hope Road. Bloom from anger, disgust, and outrage. Time come for pensioners to bloom all across Jamaica with anger, disgust, and outrage. Tonight I call on all well-thinking Jamaicans, the faith-based institutions, the private sector organizations, the academics, the civil society groups. There comes a time when silence and both sidesism is tantamount to complicity. Find some courage and come forward and say enough is enough. Comrades, time come to restore dignity to the name of Jamaica on the international stage. Time come for an MP like Steve McGregor who will uphold the law, not violate it. Time come for a Prime Minister with clean hands and a pure heart like Mark Jefferson Golding. Time come for Mark Golding and the PNP to form a government that will serve the people of Jamaica, not rape and thief from them. Thank you.
Well done, Peter.
Comrade Chairman, Comrade Ribber, same name McGregor, I'm not certain. But it might go and go, don't it? Party leader next, Prime Minister of Jamaica, Mark Jefferson Golding. Good evening, sir. Other party comrades on the platform here, welcome all. Comrades, I have to start with something about today. When we went through the place with the comrade leader, I was stopped in Franklin Town. He said, Steve, you look good, man. When we stopped down at Ray Town, he said, Steve, you can't lose. When we reach at Tel Aviv, he said, it's done. And comrades, we want to make some noise. Because we're sure the party leader. So we're ready. We're ready. We're ready. Yes. Now, Comrade River tell you now, them try a little thing. After we did all of what we should do, made our application to the police, made our application to KCMC, and we got permission to keep this function. Them get scared. So them put one little something in them little thing, say, them have one green day. And them go and them put up some little green cloth around the place where them think that we might be going through. Guess why? Because them afraid of me. Them afraid of what we're going to do to them. But listen me now. You see when them are keep for them thing, we not do that to them. Because guess what? We're not afraid of them. We're going to allow them. Let them do whatever they want to and keep them things. Because when them done, we're going to beat them. We're going to beat them, we're going to beat them, we're going to beat them. But listen me now. You see when I sat there and heard Comrade Bunting's speech, goose pimples came over me. I was in Hanover with Comrade Bunting. Because I know me I'm deputy. And I'm afraid that too, you know. Because guess what? When we're going at the Minister of National Security, him are the big man and me I'm second. What can go wrong? You understand me? But truthfully, this is what an opposition should do, you know. You hear the research and I hope you did that listening, you know. You heard the research and what he did and came up with. When we sit down there, so I said to flight, it looked like our new man, me I get for run against. Because I want to go to prison. You understand what I say? But listen, man. We not drop no catch. We not drop no catch in a central Kingston. Our workers are ready. We have over 300 hard workers. We have all of them in place. Our canvas is up to 85%. We just have tweak some little things. In my walks, in my reconnection walks around this constituency, every second door that I knock, them say, you know, Mr. McGregor, I never voted in 2000, you know, 220, you know. But guess what? We have somebody for vote for now. And all of them are going to come out. You see the turnout what we're going to have in a central Kingston, you're going to think of when Michael Manley did a run. Yes. That's how we're going to do the thing. So listen me now. My party leader was with me through the place. And you know, we're going to have enough more time for run them show here. So my party leader will come after me. You see what we're going to do next now? Starting next week, we're going to have some runabout Friday. So I'm going to just drop on a corner. And we sit down, we don't know, we have a reasoning. And we eat some little curry chicken and curry. You understand? Because we don't have money like them, you know. But the whole idea is that we're going to hold our vibes. And we're going to keep them motivated. And we're going to whip them. We're going to whip them. So, Mr. Selector, I just one little message. Man, come to take over. Right go. So to make sure that again, remember party leader here. I want to love Steve McGregor. Make some nice. Comrade, the word is love. Bless up, bless up.
Comrade Reba chairing this meeting. All of my esteemed comrades on the platform. I have to big up your MP in waiting, Comrade Steve McGregor. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Boy, I believe in Steve. I believe in Steve. And when Steve became available to Central Kingston, I said, this is the man we need. A man of the soil from Franklin Town. A very respected former police officer in this country. And a man who won the hearts and minds of the people when he was the police officer in charge. A man who, working with Comrade Bunting in the national security era, can deliver a solid plan and a solid executional plan, working with the police force, working with the security forces to make Jamaica safe. Not safe temporarily, but safe for the future, because we need a safe country so our country can prosper and grow. So, comrades, it is very important that we deliver Steve McGregor to Garden House in the next election. It is very important that Central Kingston return to the fold of the People's National Party in the next election. And hence, comrades, when I was asked to come and do the Motorcade tour today with Steve, I never hesitate or hitch. And I must tell you, comrades, yes, there were one or two little enclaves of green along the way. But we went through nooks and crannies all over. And everywhere we went, people are show with the fists and are show with the power vibes. And I know that when election day come, there's going to be a tidal wave of support for the People's National Party here in Central Kingston. We're tired of the green man. We're tired of the man who isn't here now. The owner of the yard, PNP, come back. Comrades, it's very important that this victory be obtained because Central Kingston is a vital constituency for the People's National Party in order to form government. And comrades, Jamaica needs a change, desperately. We see where the state, the democracy in this country is under serious threat. Comrade Bunting went through the issues of the day. We know that with what we're seeing is an attempt to ensure a particular outcome of an investigation. And the person who has been put in charge of it is somebody who's compromised because they've already indicated publicly that they have prejudged the situation and have a view favorable to the government and the Prime Minister. The FID investigates financial crimes. The person in charge must be somebody with experience in that. The person who they've appointed is just an accountant, has no forensic experience, no law enforcement experience, no anti-money laundering experience. It is inappropriate in every way. And comrades, I hope that Jamaican civil society, I hope that the churches, I hope that the private sector groups, I hope that the trade union movement, and I hope that well-thinking Jamaicans draw a line in the sand on this one. Because if this is allowed to stand, Jamaica's future dark, and our corner dark as Jamaican people. Comrades, Jamaica needs the cleansing stream of our government in whom the people can have trust and confidence. I intend to lead our government. I intend to lead a government with a high standard of integrity from all of those who serve. And I intend to lead from the front in delivering that government because the people of Jamaica need to have a government in which they can feel comfortable that the resources of the people are being expended for the benefit of the people and not for friend and company, cronies, through nepotism, cronyism, and corruption. Jamaica needs an ethical revival. We need a revival where values and attitudes of love and caring and decency become central to life in our country so that we can move forward in one accord as one nation, united with a purpose which God will endorse as righteous. That is why when we form government, I intend to ask civil society, the churches, and other well-thinking Jamaicans to come together and to forge a movement based on ethics, morals, and proper wholesome values to take Jamaica out of the quagmire of corruption and indecency and dysfunctional behavior, which is holding us back. Comrades, we need a new day in this country. And today is a very dark day in the history of this country. Comrades, the health system is under so much stress. When you go to a public health facility or a public hospital, you're often in need of a bed and you can't get a bed. You have to be sitting on a bench or on a wheelchair or sitting down in a corridor for hours, sometimes days, because you can't get a bed. Or if you need a test, the equipment not working, you need surgery, the operating theater closed because of air conditioning or mold, or there's no CAT scan, or there's no this or there's no that. That is why When the government uses public resources to buy a drill that is valued at $3 to $4 million and buys it for $31.5 million, that is why it is such an awful thing that Jamaica should be disgusted by. And when we see the circumstances around that purchase, which Comrade Bunting alluded to, the connection between the supplier and the MP for this constituency, a Jamaica Labour Party MP, it requires thorough investigation. We have to put an end to this kind of thing in the country. Lives are at stake. Jamaica doesn't have sufficient resources to do everything it needs to be done. We must use our resources properly for the people. And we're seeing where the resources are being ripped off and are not being accounted for in a decent and upright way. That is why Cornwall Regional Hospital is such a debacle. A project that should have been completed years ago, which should have been completed for billions and billions of dollars less, still can't finish. And the bill has been mounting. It's now in the 20s of billions of dollars. And the hospital is still not serving the public. And of course, they have a ribbon cutting for an administrative office. But what about healthcare? It's a hospital. And the situation there is absolutely deplorable. Shame on this government. Comrades, we have solid plans to make your lives better. We have solid plans to fix the education system and the training system so that Jamaica's economy can grow because our human capital is being invested in and is becoming more productive. We are going to have the First in Family program. So anybody who is attending a tertiary institution and university or college for the first time in their family, if they qualify, they will get a full scholarship because the PNP believes in uplifting the people. We believe in education as an antidote to intergenerational poverty. That is the vision, that is the mission of the People's National Party. That's why we will ensure that every needy child, whether at primary or secondary school, will get a solid hot meal, a nutritious meal every day when they attend school. That's why we have the RIDE program to provide a subsidy for rural families where their children are attending school and have very high bus fare and taxi fare to pay so that they can manage to get to school. We want our children going to school 5 days a week. Because when you miss 1 day out of 5, you're missing 20% of your education. And that learning loss is very hard to recover from. Comrades, we have a housing program to uplift the country and provide affordable houses for the people of Jamaica. Comrade Floyd Morris, I believe, took you through some of those plans. We have been very innovative, finding ways to help young people cover the deposit because many of them find that a hurdle that prevents them from stepping forward into ownership of a house. We have a program which we call Rent to Own that will allow persons who are not formally employed and don't get a pay slip, but they are making their money through whatever hustling they have, to qualify for a mortgage by going into possession of the house, initially as a tenant, paying the rent at the level of the mortgage, and after 6 months or so, we will say that is sufficient proof of income. You don't need a pay slip. You qualify for the mortgage. You can become an owner of that house. Comrades, we plan to build 50,000 affordable housing units over the next 5 years when we're in government. We are going to ensure public lands that are not fit for agriculture are used to recapitalize the housing trust. And that will make affordable housing available because we're not going to charge buyers. We're not going to charge the land value in the house. So the housing price will come down for the people. Comrades, the next PNP government is looking at different ways in which we can make life better for everyday Jamaican people who are struggling to survive now. But I return to the central issue. We can't move forward as a country if our government is involved in shenanigans and wrongdoing. And they are good at propaganda. And they have their friends in the media. And they have their bots generating social media likes. But the people must be very careful. Don't be fooled or confused by lies and misleading information. Listen carefully to what we have to say and believe that we are here to help you move forward. We are not here to lie to you. We're not here to promise things that we don't intend to deliver. We intend to deliver on our promises. And if God is with us, and I believe He is, we will deliver a better Jamaica for all of you. But the road to that better future lies right through Central Kingston. You are a key to deliver up the victory for the People's National Party. And in order to do that, you have to ensure you put in the work and you get out the vote. And you don't let anybody be bought out who's a PNP voter. Because they're going to try all kind of things to persuade our voters not to vote or to vote even for them. But you have a good candidate here, a son of the soil, a professional who has proven himself worthy of support. He went through a career unblemished, and he ended his career in high esteem nationally. The name Steve McGregor is a brand that Jamaica recognizes as being effective and decent and caring. And you have him as your candidate. Are you ready for Steve McGregor to be your MP? Are you ready for Marky G to be your Prime Minister? Are you ready for the People's National Party to form government in this country? Comrades, you sound like you're ready. You look like you're ready. I feel the vibes that you're ready. So all I will say now is power to the people.